Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Sky Striker Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for post Battles of Legends Terminal Revenge. We got a new main deck monster and a new extra deck monster for the Sky Striker deck from the latest Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set. Definitely some more useful support from Monstrous Revenge. We got some pretty odd Sky Striker monsters that didn't really help with the deck's playstyle, but I really do like the new monsters that we have, and we still have some more new support for the Sky Striker deck to come out as well, along with some adjustments from the previous ban list, since the last update to the Sky Striker deck showed me that we definitely need an update to the video altogether. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. For the Sky Striker monsters, running 3 copies of Sky Striker Ace Ray. With its quick effect, you contribute this card to special summon 1 Sky Striker Ace monster from your extra deck to the extra monster zone. While this card's in your graveyard, if a face-up Sky Striker Ace Link monster you control is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can special summon this card. You can only use each effective Ray once per turn, but having that, bounce resource back onto the field always gives you, a monster on the field. If your opponent were to try and get rid of your Link monster after, going through the many stages of spells that you may have set up on the field as well, it's just all that more difficult to get rid of Ray. They can respond to it on the field, then you can just chain its effect and get the Link monster out. Also, the new main deck monster is Pillar of the Future Cyanos. This card's always treated as a Sky Striker card. You can discard 1 spell to special summon this card from your hand. If it's normal or special summon, you can special summon 1 Sky Striker Ace Rose from your deck or graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except machine monsters. You can banish this card from your graveyard to take 1 of your Sky Striker Ace Rose that is banished in your graveyard, either add to your hand or special summon it. So this card works with our next go-to monster. So having a way to set up spells in our graveyard to then also be able to make use of some of our better Sky Striker spells as well, for having those numbers in the graveyard is an added plus as well. So I definitely do like running this at 3. It just gives you an easy special summon on the field. If your opponent were to, let's say, negate the summon of your Ray and you just need that extra resource, that's where Cyanos can come in quite handily, and then just give us our additional monster, being the Sky Striker Ace Rose. We're only running the 1 copy because that's really all you need now, with Cyanos being able to search this card from the deck and also being able to recycle it from the graveyard and the banish back to your hand also. And if a Sky Striker Ace is normal or special summon except Rose, during the damage step you can special summon this card from your hand. So even when you add it back to your hand, if you can get out a Link monster, it's another resource to be able to summon back onto the field. With the last of our main deck monsters being the 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, hand trap of choice, along with just all the disruptions we can have in the form of our many different Sky Striker spells. Moving on to the spells, which are the majority of the deck to begin with. Also, 3 copies of Sky Striker Mobilize Engage. You can let me know in the comments which art you prefer. This one's definitely been growing on me, the alternate art from Monstrous Revenge. But once again, since the last update that I made on the channel for this deck, Engage is now at 3, full powered again. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, add 1 Sky Striker card from your deck to your hand, except for Mobilize Engage. Then if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, draw 1 card. This is where the additional spell in the graveyard comes in handy as well. So if you discard that card off of Cyanos, you can then have the additional draw if you have Engage in your hand also. And then also the 3 copies of Widow Anchor. With this card needing no monsters in the main monster zone to activate as well. Targeting a face-up effect monster on the field, negate that face-up monster's effect to the end of the turn. Then if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard, you can take control of that monster till the end phase. Just another way to interrupt your opponent's plays by taking that resource for you to use as your own, thanks to this card. Another 3 of that we run is the 3 copies of Sky Striker Mobilize Linkage. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, you cannot special summon monsters in the extra deck for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, except for Sky Striker Ace monsters. But the more and more higher Link monsters we get, the easier it is to get around this restriction. And then special summon 1 Sky Striker Ace monster from your extra deck to the extra monster zone for this card by sending 1 other card you control to the graveyard. And if you have at least 1 light or 1 dark Sky Striker Ace monsters on your field and are in your graveyard, the summoned monster gains 1,000 attack. So an added boost thanks to just a spell resource to get our extra deck monsters out on the field also. I also run, for some of the lower lower numbers for the Sky Striker spells, 2 copies of Afterburners, just being able to target a face-up monster and destroy it, then also destroy a spell or trap if you have 3 or more spells in your graveyard. It's destruction power on top of destruction power. That's why I like to run the 2 copies of this card. And for some of the lower numbers for our Sky Striker spells, the 1 Hornet Drone, since it's still on the ban list at 1, the 1 Multi-Roll, just for being able to recycle cards back onto the field for us to reuse, the 1 Jamming Waves for the set spell and trap destruction, and then the monster destruction, so kind of a reverse of Afterburners, the 1 Shark Cannon for being able to target a monster in our opponent's graveyard and banish it. It's almost a DD Crow play, but also being able to, special summon it if we have 3 or more spells in the graveyard. And lastly, the 1 copy of Airspace Area 0, just as a search and setup by using our other cards that we have on the field and then excavating the top cards of our deck to add a Sky Striker card from among them. Now, spells in the graveyard are another big setup for the deck. So 3 Upstart Goblin, which I believe was also taken off the list to 3 since the last update. So this card just, draw power as well. Giving your opponent's life isn't really that big of a thing. If you open up your 3 Upstart Goblins, you could just draw, having all 3 in the graveyard. Then make full power use of the Engage that we have also. So that's why I definitely like to run 3 in the deck. 2 copies of Forbidden Droplet. Sometimes you just want a no response activation of your opponent's cards when you use this on their monsters. So if you can send the needed cards from your side of the field to the graveyard, all the better. Foolish Burial for more spell setup in the graveyard as well, with the last of our spells being the 1 copy of Terraforming to search out the Area 0, the 1 Call by the Grave, the 1 Reinforcements of the Army because they are warrior monsters for Ray to search out, and then the last one being the 1 Feather Duster, going second option with this card. If you wanted to try Metal Foes Fusion to work with the Foolish Burial Goods, you could always try that as well. And if you didn't want to run the Foolish Burial Goods to begin with for more spell setup, you can always try, putting in Lightning Storms as added. Going second play is just like with the Feather Duster, or even cards like Triple Tactics Talent for more going first options. And then for the traps, along with the Ash Blossom, just 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, just another hand trap. You have so much disruption in this deck. It's all about getting your Sky Striker monster set up and then just having the heavy back row to make use of also. For the Sky Striker extra deck monsters, we want a good variety. I have 2 copies of Kagari in the extra deck. If you wanted to run 3, you could drop down one of our generics that we run in the lineup, like Barricade Board Blocker, for a 3rd copy of Kagari. If it's special summon, you can target 1 Sky Striker spell in your graveyard, add it back to your hand, and gains 100 attack for each spell in your graveyard. So if you use Engage, you can add back Engage and then reactivate it again for more search and draw power thanks to this card. The 2 copies of Shizuku for the end of turn search and having your opponent's monsters lose attack thanks to this card. The 2 copies of Hayate for the option to then be able to attack directly, and after damage calc, if it battled, you can send 1 Sky Striker card from your deck to the graveyard for more graveyard setup, as well as add back thanks to Kagari afterwards. And then the 1 copy of Sky Striker Ace Kaina. The 1 Sky Striker, I don't know where I put, I think it might be in the same spot where my access code talker is, which also you want to include in the deck, is Sky Striker Ace Azalea, which is the other Link 2 monster, along with Sky Striker Ace Zeke. So if you have Azalea, once again, you can swap out one of the generic spots in the extra deck for that card, but our new Link 3 monster is Sky Striker Ace Azalea Temperance, needing 2 or more monsters, including a Link monster, and must first be Link summoned. If this card is special summoned, you can banish 1 spell from your hand or graveyard, then target 1 monster your opponent controls with 2500 or less attack. Equip that face-up monster to this card as an equip spell. You can use this effect of Azalea Temperance once per turn, and when this card is destroyed by battle, you can special summon 1 other Sky Striker monster from your hand or graveyard, just extending the resources, but also being able to equip a monster gets around some of the other restrictions that it may have had on the field when going up against some of your own cards. And then for the generics, the 1 Relinquished Anima for the Cyanos play if need be, the 1 Barricade Board Blocker, Nightmare Cerberus, the Dark Charmer Gloomy, the 1 Nightmare Unicorn, and then also the 1 copy of Sky Crisis as an added special summon overlay. Like I said, I don't have the access code. I don't know where it is. It's probably in the same spot where the Sky Striker Azalea is, but you would replace the 1 Sky Crisis and the Barricade Board Blocker for the copy of the Link to Azalea, and then the access code to run in the extra deck also. And then as for some of the go-to plays, as I said, the setup with the Sky Striker deck is just the spell reliance that you'll do with the deck as well. The play for Cyanos is to set you up with your Link 2 summon being a light monster. It can then grab out your Sky Striker Ace Rose, and then from there you'll have the 1-card spell setup in the graveyard. So depending on the spell that is in the graveyard that you discard off of it, you can then activate 1 additional spell, and then if you have the option to then go into your search power, you'll either then have the option to either go for that play or using the Cyanos' discard, giving you that resource, and the other additional one can also help to either grab your Link 2 Sky Striker Ace monster, because don't forget, with the Sky Striker monsters on the field, you have to have the main monster zone open. So going into your Link 2 is one of the bigger, more important things when you make use of the Cyanos play, because then the Cyanos play, when it's summoned out onto the field, will special summon the Rose from your deck onto the field also to use. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira, Twig out.